everything that you do for our county. So with that, let's go to the Lord in prayer. Father, we come to you now, God, and we just thank you for this day. We thank you, Lord, for this time and opportunity we have to be able to gather, and Lord, to be able to fellowship one with another. And we thank you, Father, for the businesses and the representatives that are here upon their behalf, and all the entities, Lord. I just pray a blessing upon them and upon all that they do. Father, we pray for those that are standing in harm's way this day, those on our battlefields, those that are at home. We pray for their families. We just lift up our fire, EMS, law enforcement personnel. And Lord, I pray that you just keep them safe as they go about their duties. And Lord, again, we just thank you most of all for your Son, Jesus Christ, the one that came and died for our sins that we could have life eternally. And as we enter into that season of Easter, Lord, we just want to forever remember that. And now, God, I pray that you just bless this time here, bless each one, bless the food that's been prepared, and bless it to the nourishment of our bodies so we can go out and do thy will. And we ask it all in Jesus' holy name. And all God's children said, Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Chairman. I want to start off by saying just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of your attendance here today. I'm also thankful that I'm here today. If you were here last year, you may remember that I spent a beautiful week in Florida, spring breaking with my family, and came back with COVID and couldn't be in my own party. So I'm very happy to be here today. We have a packed program with you, so believe it or not, I'll try to keep my comments short and brief. But I would be remiss if I didn't recognize a few special folks that are in the room today. You're all special in my heart, but a few special folks. First and foremost, the county commissioners, most of whom are here today. Thank you very much for your attention to economic development, your support of our office and all that we do. Also, we have Rebecca Howe from Congresswoman Virginia Fox's office. Thank you for being here. Justin from Senator Buzz's office has not made it yet, but he's supposed to be here. And then a special friend and board member of the Economic Development Partnership of North Carolina, Mr. William Morgan. Thank you for being here today. And then special guest, my teammates back here in the corner, Jesse, Hunter, and Savannah. Couldn't do it without the wonderful economic development team. Let's give all our special guests a round of applause. Okay, who likes door prizes? No door prize fans in the room? No door prizes. Okay, I don't have any. Instead, I have a special surprise for you today. 10 of our special guests in the room today have an envelope taped to the bottom of your chair. Go ahead, let's see who our lucky winners are. 10 special. Oh, there's you. I didn't get it. Okay, I see envelopes coming up. Jeremy, I really didn't win this. I know, okay. It's big. It's not there. Pull it out. It's rigged. It's rigged. It's not rigged. No, that's not it. It's an envelope. It says number 10 envelope from my office worker. Okay, I'm gonna fill you all in as we're waiting in anticipation to see what they got. Open it up, please. It's a letter from yours truly. From the Caldwell County Economic Development Department, I wanted to take time to thank you for your contributions to our community and your continued commitment to economic growth. Your service and cooperation means so much, and we feel privileged to welcome you to our annual industry appreciation event this year. Each year, along with the Economic Development Advisory Committee, we go out of our way to recognize the contributions of our partners. Only after tough deliberation by our nominating committee, with spreadsheets and charts and the occasional heated debate, did we arrive at the decision that the fairest method to distribute this year's special award would be to randomly give it out as we have. It is with much excitement that we present to you this year's April Fool's Award. So thank you all for being here today. Well deserved. Okay, now that everybody's relaxed, we've essentially broken the ice. I have a couple data points that I wanted to share with you. I'll try to keep you awake here and keep this brief. But on your table is a brand new, no one's seen it until today, 2025 key indicators report. This is an updated version of a previous report, and we prepared this report mainly in response to the 2025 North Carolina Department of Commerce tier designation rankings. And you may know that in 2025, our community, Caldwell County, dropped to a tier 1 community. We had been a tier 2 community. And that means that we are among the 40 most economically distressed, according to this report, in the state of North Carolina. The key indicators report intends to show you how far we've come and what direction we're heading. From 2024 to 2025, the 4 measures used to determine a county's ranking in the tier system: average unemployment rate, median household income, percentage growth of population, and adjusted property tax per capita. Caldwell County saw increases in all 3 of those. We were moving in the right direction. Only one area had a loss, and that was our UI rate, or unemployment rate. And that rate, 3.65%, was our second lowest rate recorded, and still lower than the state national average at the time. You see, all of North Carolina is growing. And while Caldwell County's economy grows, we're simply not growing at the breakneck speed of some of our other regions like Wilmington, Raleigh, Charlotte, and Asheville, which is probably okay with both of them. I'm not saying that we're perfect by no means, but we're definitely headed in the right direction. But we can't stop. We can't sit idly. There's still lots of work to do. So as a reminder, our office, we focus in 4 areas: existing industry support, that's today's event. We're here to celebrate our existing Caldwell County industry. Industrial product development, recruitment, marketing and PR, and lastly, supporting our partners, many of whom are in the room, and that's in education, housing, and workforce development. So diving in a little deeper, I wanted to highlight some of the county's largest employers. As you can see, manufacturing is still our largest employment sector. One of the biggest strengths is our history as a manufacturing economy, which has developed into many jobs in advanced manufacturing. Although we've seen much diversification in our local economy, in the past 10 years, we've seen continued growth in manufacturing, but we've also seen significant growth in hospitality, administrative and support services, healthcare, and construction. We're also very pleased to report a 10-year, 56% wage growth. This wage growth, coupled with our cost of living and other factors, has placed our metropolitan statistical area, Caldwell, Catawba, Bergen, Alexander County, as the 4th most affordable place to live in the United States. In 2024, Caldwell County was the 28th highest in North Carolina for average private sector wages. Wage growth is a consistent strength of our community, and Caldwell consistently ranks among the highest of rural North Carolina counties. Our poverty rate did experience an increase during the COVID years, reaching 16.2% in 2022, like the rate in 2017. From our analysis, most of this increase could be attributed to the pandemic, but we are happy to report that from 2022 to 2023, poverty decreased 2.5%, and we hope to see this number fall again in 2024 to bring us back to pre-pandemic levels. Overall, we have seen a 7.2% 10-year decrease, and 10-year decrease, and we consistently are among the top 1/3 of the counties in the state of North Carolina for lowest poverty rates. Thanks to our well-positioned economy and a dedicated workforce, GDP in Caldwell County has been excellent in the past 10 years, rising 50%. We're very pleased to report that Caldwell was the only county in our metropolitan area that did not experience a GDP decline during COVID. We still make things here, people. And in the past year alone, GDP has grown over 7%. Utilities are essential indicators of economic growth and vitality. 88% of Caldwell County households have access to the internet, which is a significant increase previous years. In the past roughly 5 years, Caldwell County has received $6 million in broadband expansion grants. These grants specifically target those who have no internet access. Our office is currently working with NCDIT to secure up to $2.3 million in additional expansion grants. Additionally, we've seen a 10-year continuous 44% increase in water lines in Caldwell County, increasing access to public water for many residents and driving economic growth. So I hope you take this report, share it. We have other copies at our office if you want additional copies. We can do a reprint. And this and other resources are available on our website. If you've not been there, check it out, caldwellcountyec.com. Here you can see a lot of our partners and our communities and graphics about our area, product that's available for business and industry to expand to and grow to. Check us out on social media, like, follow, and share. We have lots of good information that we share, particularly on LinkedIn, and we do the Caldwell County Caldwell's Hiring Facebook page, and we have our own Facebook presence as well. So I say all this to say that we're here, your Caldwell County Economic Development Team. If you have any ideas or thoughts about expanding or ways that you want to grow or take your business to the next level, we're here to help you. We want to be your support. So reach out, let us help you. So without further ado, I'm going to recognize Dr. Mark Porch, the Community College President, and our friend and Chairman of the EDAC, or Economic Development Advisory Committee, Dr. Porch.
Good afternoon, everybody. I too am glad you're here. I think you were in Florida last week.
I did. I went to Universal this time. Yeah.
One more time.
One more time.
Glad you're here, glad you're here. Good afternoon, everybody. I also would like to extend my thanks for all of you for being here today, and certainly say thank you for all you do to support economic development in Caldwell County. I always say that Caldwell County is a special place, and it's special because of the people in this room and the people throughout our community who work together to make life better for all of the people that we have the privilege to serve. So thank you. I would like to take an opportunity to introduce my fellow Economic Development Advisory Committee members. If you folks would stand to be recognized, please. These folks represent local government, business and industry, and education, and let's give them a round of applause. Thank you so much. It is my honor now to introduce our first speaker of the afternoon, my good friend and colleague, Mr. John Loyd. John is the Vice President of Economic Development for the North Carolina Community College System, and in this role, he leads the operation of the Economic Development Division, which includes Apprenticeship North Carolina, and by the way, Dr. Chris Harrington, the Director of Apprenticeship NC, is here today. Thank you, sir, for being here. John also leads the Bio Network, Customized Training, and the Small Business Network. The Economic Development Team at the System Office provides education, training, and support for new, expanding, and existing business and industry in all 100 counties in North Carolina through the 58 community colleges. So please join me in welcoming my friend, Mr. John Loyd.
Thank you, Dr. Porch. Folks, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm getting a little comfortable up here. I have been here to previous events. I've been to this lunch in the past. I've been here to evening events, mostly because I know that the culinary program at college does But and you know, before I dive into my remarks, I do want to say just a quick glance at indicators. And actually, I think that's a fantastic piece. And these are the kind of things that we need to share with communities, kind of give you all a sense of where things are. There are two things that really stood out to me right away that are literally pulled from my comments today. And one is the residential building indicators. All that, you know, those are things that maybe a little bit different from this year to the previous year, but those are things to keep an eye on. Those are things that tell you that you're addressing some of the really important issues here. The other thing that I've, you know, the folks who know me know I have a special place in my heart for small business owners. So Carmella, looking at a 93% increase in new business registrations is significant. And that's something that often gets overlooked when we talk about economic development. I mean, we're all out hunting for the next big 100 or 1,000 job opportunity, but if we get small businesses to grow in here and they all hire, that can grow exponentially as well. But I want to thank you all for giving me this opportunity to come here today, mostly because I get to open for Dan Gurley. I mean, if we can switch things around a little bit, I might have been a little intimidated, but Dan, I get to, maybe I'll come in on middle relief and then you can take us home. But I do want to talk to you all a little bit about something that you all here in the industry here in the county have a front row seat on every single day, and that is workforce. That's something that impacts us all. You know, I serve at the system office in Raleigh, and I have the pleasure of working with businesses all across the state to see this. And this is, you know, the themes in my remarks today, the things that I've observed, these are things that have come up consistently over the last couple of years. These are challenges. And I'm here to, as I started writing out my remarks and thinking about some of the challenges that we all face, a lot of these are familiar things that you all hear, but I'm also here to talk about some of the things that we're working on to address those issues as well. And so, you know, to begin, I'll say, you know, we have to be clear. We do have workforce challenges. It's not just a statistic. It's something that's felt in every single sector. Chris and I, as we drove out today, we were talking a little bit about nursing apprenticeships and what we're seeing across the state. And it's something that has to happen because we really do have a significant strain on our healthcare system. Hospitals in rural counties in particular struggle to fill critical nursing positions. And then what that leads to is longer wait times, reduced access to care. These are things that have got to be addressed. And these are things that can make the community much more appealing for the next business that's considering locating a manufacturing facility. But it's not just healthcare. Manufacturing plants across the state are delaying the expansion projects due to the lack of skilled machinists, technicians, and then of course, and this is not something that's isolated to rural North Carolina. This is something that's impacting us all across the state, all across the country. And it's, even, you know, things like the tech sector in the RTP region are seeing really fierce competition for software engineers and data scientists. And it's not just about filling jobs, the work that we do. It's about ensuring that our businesses can compete and innovate and thrive. So why are we facing these challenges? First, the population is aging. We know this, but I was struck by one piece of data that I saw recently. I had to do the math on this to see if I myself fall in this category. But by 2030, nearly 20% of North Carolina's population will be over the age of 65. For those of you who are trying to do the math, I'll be just under that number. This demographic shift not only increases the demand for healthcare, but it also leads to a wave of retirements, something that we all see in the businesses that we go to work in every day. This is creating a talent vacuum across industries. It's something that's affecting all of us no matter where we go. We also have a skills gap. And so a few years back, maybe 2 to 3 years back, you know, AI was something out of science fiction movies. You know, it was something that we would have certainly said, yeah, I saw the Terminator movies back in the 1980s. Today it's here. Today it's here. And it's likely that someone in this room will even be using some form of AI during this presentation. So one of you may be giving a speech later, and I can tell you can go to Google's Gemini and plug in the basics, and you can put together a pretty interesting conversation. But a recent study by the North Carolina Chamber Foundation indicates that over 60% of employers report difficulty finding workers with the necessary skills. And so, as an example, the one thing that has really surprised me in the 2 years that I've been in my role is that as I attend apprenticeship graduations throughout the state, and it's something that's, you know, in addition to events like this, there's nothing I enjoy more than going to apprenticeship graduation. But I see all these advanced manufacturing businesses who are graduating cybersecurity apprentices. And at first I began to wonder, wow, that's fascinating. Wouldn't say I saw that one coming, but it makes perfect sense. businesses, rather than go out and hire very highly paid consultants, are creating their own talent. And it's something that is a great option for them. And so one of the ways that folks are dealing with this is by addressing it to make sure that people get the specialized training that many of the current workers lack. Third, the impact of the pandemic has fundamentally changed the way we work. It's something that we continue to debate about. Remote work, while it certainly offers flexibility, is presenting new challenges in terms of productivity, engagement, and the need for new management strategies. That's something that we see, and it's certainly leading to the increased demand for broadband access, so it's great to see the type of broadband progress that people are making as well. But it certainly drives the need for new digital literacy training in ways that maybe we didn't necessarily need in the past. Again, a primary concern for businesses that I meet with across the state is this persistent skills gap. So key sectors are struggling to find workers with the right qualifications. We know this, and that gap in a lot of ways continues to widen. So technological expertise is certainly a big part of this. Rapidly evolving industries. The thing that occurred to me recently is we know that people would come to the community college for automotive repair work and automotive training programs in the past. Today, we've got to work on essentially two very different types of cars. We'll be bringing electric vehicles in. We've got to work on them as well as combustible engines. And so these are things that are opening up a whole new world to us. When I think about construction, when I think about electricity and things like that, folks have got to deal with a whole new set of tools and industries and technologies that they've never dealt with before. As people build some of the houses around the state, they're having to build them with these things in mind. These are things that we did not necessarily know in the past. And so, this is the type of thing that we deal with. It is driving up costs as well, because it continues to be extremely competitive for us. And then, of course, the one thing I'm really fascinated by is businesses' interest and the realization that we have a bit of a gap in terms of the essential soft skills. And so each year we have at the North Carolina State Fair, we have apprenticeship competitions. And I literally, as I'm there watching some of these winners walk across a small stage at the fair, pick up their awards, I really keep track of how many of these young people are going to shake my hand firmly and look me in the eye. And I'll be honest with you, it's probably about 50-50. Some of them just want to get off that stage as quickly as possible. I understand that. But it really is, these are the types of things. So beyond technical abilities, employers are increasingly valuing soft skills like critical thinking, communication, adaptability, and realizing that you can't just communicate with text. Sometimes you have to go talk to someone face to face. But many job seekers lack these foundational skills, and that makes it difficult for them to succeed in the modern workplace. And so these are the types of things that we're trying to address. Then, of course, another challenge is that of talent attraction and retention. It's something we deal with as well. It's something that is a constant struggle for the teams that I manage, the community college system. And one of the things that we're affected by is the cost of living. So the average wage in Wake County is $75,000. And so it's something that makes it very challenging when you're hiring state employees who are going to come into work in Raleigh. I know it's significantly higher in other counties like Mecklenburg and Durham. And so it's one of those things that it poses a challenge for many workers. So that combined with rapidly rising housing costs or even finding available housing makes it even harder for businesses to attract employees. So those are things. And then, of course, we have a new set of employees who are coming in and looking for a work-life balance. So especially the younger generations are prioritizing that work-life balance. So companies are now increasingly, I see a lot of businesses getting very creative and offering new programs and new benefits to folks. And good to see all of that as well. And so I will say there's a number of things that we can do to address some of these things. I would say we need a multifaceted approach to how we address it. First, we've got to continue to invest in education, that's clear, in training programs that align with the needs of the industries. We need to strengthen our colleges and create partnerships with businesses and educational institutions. And so some of the programs that I manage, for example, are to provide a great bridge between the educational institutions and businesses. Some of the specific things that I'm working on with my team would be developing different ways to deepen and formalize industry partnerships. This is something that works internally for us as well. And so for each one of the business units that I've managed, we've instituted policies where we bring in presidents from different colleges to create our own, actually it was the EDAC, our own advisory committee for customized training or apprenticeship or the Small Business Center network to bounce ideas off of and keep bringing things, because it's not just a way for me to bounce ideas off of them, it's for me to learn what's going on in every community across the state. And I will tell you, every community's got something, they've got different challenges that they're dealing with. And so we've got to stay on top of these things. And so I would recommend, that folks continue to conduct regular meetings like this one. Bring the employers in, hear exactly what's going on, assess those skill gaps and those emerging trends, try to find out what's going on before it becomes an issue for us. Our NC Edge customized training program, I think, is a great way for us to bring businesses in to see exactly what the community colleges are capable of. It's a training program that's tailored to meet specific employer needs. And so a lot of these things that I was talking about, whether it be safety training, whether it be performance improvement or continuous improvement training, or whether it be leadership skills, are all things that our customized training programs and our individual colleges bring to the businesses in your communities. So we're thrilled to have that. And then of course, I mentioned it a few times, but helping businesses set up any kind of work-based learning program, whether a business is looking for an internship, or looking for an apprenticeship, we want to give businesses the tools they need and help them figure out how to navigate these paths to get the talent they need. I would say we also need to utilize real-time labor market information to identify high-demand occupations. This is one of those things that will help us understand where the puck is going. And so I would say it's one of those things that we're looking at in a number of different ways to invest in data analytics, capable of tracking things like student outcomes, or the outcome of the training programs that we offer, and program effectiveness. So it tells us, are we doing the right things? Are we addressing some of those skill gaps and getting businesses the help they need so some of those skill gaps can close? We've got to be, I would say, from my perspective and the things that I manage, I'm really looking to make this more data-driven decision-making that regarding program development, resource allocation, strategic planning, maximizing our ROI by focusing the resources on programs that lead to high-paying, in-demand jobs. Building things that really aren't helping people get beyond the poverty level is not something that we should be doing. And so we're looking at other ways to really help people find the pathways to those high-paying, in-demand jobs. I would say, we need to use the data as well. And so at the North Carolina Community College System, I would say one of the goals I would love to see us set is to become the trusted source of data and expertise on the workforce. As it stands right now, whether we're here at a county level or we're here on a state level, you've got a lot of different resources out there. So people will turn to the economic development partners for some information. They may go to the North Carolina Department of Commerce for others, or go to community college for some. We need to pull that all together so you all can see all the different pieces. It's not happening today, but it can. And these are the things that I think would help us. That would position our colleges as that go-to resource for the business owners in this room and policymakers who are focused on workforce development, economic trends, and the impact of education on the local economy. Doing this, I think, will successfully allow us to increase the impact of our mission and resources and allow us to build credibility and trust with you all. That ultimately will lead to stronger partnerships. So these are not things that can necessarily be solved overnight. We're working on them in a number of different ways. I would say one of the things that we will be rolling out is more access to things like online dashboards, regular reports, presentations on key indicators, workforce trends, and proactively share success stories so that folks know what's working in different communities all over the state. We're in a great position to be able to do that, and we're doing a number of things to move us in that direction. I would say the word I mentioned earlier, collaboration, is one that we need to continue to focus on. It requires ongoing collaboration between businesses, government, and educational institutions to really solve these problems. I would say every one of these groups that I manage, we're looking at them to develop long-term visions and commitment to investing in different areas and making sure that we're showing that we're delivering a significant ROI for the things that we do. We're looking at going beyond some of what we've done in the past to develop regional strategies as well. You know, the economic needs of the eastern part of the state are very different from they are in the west. And so these are things that we all need to consider as we build these things out. So the good news is, you know, we've got a lot of work to do. There's a lot of good things. I will say this, I feel very comfortable about where we are, the position of North Carolina right now. I can tell you I've worked with a lot of other states. I work with partners in states all over the country. A lot of us, we don't compete with one another necessarily. And so we get together, we share best practices and things like that. And I can tell you North Carolina is in a much better position than most. Just looking at overall demographics and the in-migration, folks moving into the state every day, that's something that gives us a significant advantage. So we're in a good place, but we've got significant challenges. We want to keep building them. So my goal today was not to just talk about the problems, but I wanted to invite you all to actively engage in some of these solutions, talk about some of the things that we can do. And I really do think that these are the kind of things that will help us, you know, create North Carolina's position as this model for workforce development. So I think a lot of good things are happening, but there's a lot of work to be done. So just a few thoughts from me. Again, I appreciate having the opportunity to come here and speak with you all today. Having a partner like Ashley is something special, somebody that you know you can lean on to find out what's going on in the community, come out and meet with folks like you. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. Okay, friends, I now have the privilege and honor of introducing our next speaker, Mr. Dan Gurley. Dan is the founder and principal of DGR LLC, a consultant service specializing in transportation. He previously served as the Transportation Policy Advisor to the North Carolina Speaker of the House, Mr. Tim Moore, and held senior staff roles in his office. Dan has been involved with various transportation boards, including the North Carolina Transportation Museum Foundation and the North Carolina State Port Authority. He's also held positions with Rail NC, Go Rail, and the Republican National Committee, and has extensive experience in public policy and political consulting. Please welcome Mr. Dan Gurley.
Well, Ashley, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to be here with all of you today. I'm sure there's some people in the audience that I know that I've worked with before on something or another over the years. I think the last time I was in this building, I was here with Congressman Cass Ballinger, my old boss. So I was Mr. Ballinger's chief of staff for about 3.5 years, near the end of his term, and it was exciting. He was one of a kind. So those of you that know him would know that. Ashley had asked that I focus a little bit on transportation, and well, a lot on transportation, but on rail stuff in particular. So I brought a couple of props with me. What I thought I would do is just tell you a little bit about the Department of Transportation here, since I interacted with them so much, and then go into some specific details on rail. There we go.
There you go.
Which way does this go?
That way.
By the way, that's a picture of the Caldwell County Railway that I have up there on the screen now. So a little bit of an overview of the Department of Transportation, if I can. First of all, we have more than 11,000 employees in DOT, and they're spread across 14 divisions. And so what I have here is actually a map that shows what those divisions are. We're in Division 11 now. And so if anybody wants to take a look at that, you're welcome to after I finish up. The interesting bit of history here is on the 14 divisions. How did we end up with 14? It's been that same number for quite some time. I haven't seen this in writing, but it's been passed down over time. There were 14 prisons scattered across the state. And so they created a division around each prison because that's where labor was coming from early on in our highway program. So that's kind of a unique little thing in our history. We don't, of course, we don't have prisoners out on the road anymore. The Board of Transportation oversees the department from a financial perspective. And the role of the board has changed. This is Mike Fox, he's the chair of the board now, he's from Division 7, lives in Greensboro. But it's changed over time. It's 20 members. There are currently 14 members appointed by the governor and 6 by the legislature, 3 out of the House, 3 out of the Senate. And up until the year 2020, the governor had all 20 appointments to that board. And so we restructured the board and gave some of those appointments to the legislature. Some of you might be aware of the fact that we restructured again a couple of years ago. We took 9 boards and commissions. Board of Transportation was one of them. And we just flipped that number. And the legislature took the 14 seats and gave the governor his 6 back. And then split the 14, 7 House, 7 Senate. And so I may end up on that board. Speaker Moore nominated me to that board, and I would have taken my seat except for the governor sued the legislature. And so that's working its way through the courts now. So hopefully that'll be resolved fairly soon. These are the different divisions that are housed within, or at least tangentially, with the Department of Transportation. You have aviation, everybody's favorite, the Division of Motor Vehicles. The ferry division. North Carolina has the 2nd largest ferry division of any of the 50 states. Any guess as to who's number 1? Washington State, yep. Sure is, Washington State. The Global Trans Park is kind of connected with a dotted line. It has its own board of directors, so there's some statutory seats there. That if you are on, like for instance, you chair the Ports Authority, you automatically have a seat on the Global Trans Park. That's a facility that kind of floundered over the years, so until it finally got itself aligned, I guess, in the right direction, and it's becoming a very successful aerospace cluster. Spirit Aerosystems is there. They build the fuselage and wingtips for the Airbus A350 aircraft. And one of the more interesting things that we have going on there now is a company called Draken that buys surplus fighter jets from governments that will sell them, and they do combat training exercises, like for Seymour Johnson Air Force Base, and they do some for the Marines. And it's a fascinating thing to watch them, and it's cheaper apparently to contract with those folks to do that than it is to actually bring them up through the military yourself. So that's interesting. And then one other thing that bears mentioning, of course, we have 6 military bases in North Carolina, and all of them are in the east. And one of the things that I worked on in the Speaker's office, along with several other folks, was a proposal to move some maintenance and upkeep on Huey helicopters from the Fleet Readiness Center East at Cherry Point over to Global Transport. And we were successful in getting that done, and it was the first time anywhere that maintenance was being done on military aircraft, not on a military base. And we were so successful with that there is a new hangar being built there, and C-130 maintenance is going to be moved to Global Transport. And that's going to create room for 2 squadrons of F-35s at Cherry Point. So a lot of success in the aerospace cluster. We're seeing that around the state. That's one area where we have it, and others in the Greensboro area. So highway division, of course, integrated mobility, that's your bicycle, pedestrian, greenway type things. Ports Authority, this is another one connected by a dotted line. Has a relationship with the department, but it's not technically a part of the department. I was on that board of directors for about 3.5 years and resigned my seat to come to work for Speaker Moore. Rail Division, and then the Turnpike Authority. I believe we have 3 toll roads in the state now. I think we can go up to 6 at this point without changing the law in some way. We're going to see more of those. So it's a fact. It's just going to happen. We're having trouble keeping up with the transportation needs as we find them now because of not having enough revenue for that. changes happening that are bringing that about. So, let's see, and since I've been asked to focus a little bit on rail, I wanted to put some highlights up that I think some of you will find pretty interesting. The first train to operate in this country was in 1830, Baltimore and Ohio Railroad, very quickly followed by the South Carolina Railroad and Canal Company. Now, canals were a big thing at that time. The Erie Canal opened in 1825, and it reduced the cost of moving freight from $100 a ton to $6 a ton. And so canals were the thing, and you had some states that thought they were still going to be a thing, hence the Railroad and Canal Company in South Carolina. Let's see, moving along, we had two of the longest railroads in the world in North Carolina during the 1840s, the Wilmington and Weldon, which ran between those two cities, and the Raleigh and Gaston, which ran between those two cities. Gaston is up on Lake Gaston. The leaders of the state at the time looked around though, and they saw that every railroad line that was coming into the state was coming from north or south. And there was nothing that was binding us together as a state going east-west. And so there was a proposal to build the North Carolina Railroad. Came down to one vote. The Senate Majority Leader was from Caswell County, forgot his name. But he cast the tie-breaking vote to build the North Carolina Railroad. And he lost his next election. The railroad line didn't run through Caswell County. So that's what happened to him. So I guess you do good things and you don't always get the benefit of it. But that railroad was completed in 1856, 2 years later. That ran between Goldsboro and Charlotte. 2 years later, we started building the Atlantic in North Carolina, which ran from Goldsboro to Shepherd's Point. We know the place today as Morehead City. It was renamed for Governor John Motley Morehead, who was the chairman of the railroad. Also started building the Western North Carolina Railroad at that time. And that's something that touches a little bit closer for us here. That was a line that came off in Salisbury and eventually made its way all the way to Murphy. That was interrupted by the Civil War, and then there was a very unique period, 1875 to 1880, where the railroad was built across the mountains between Old Fort and Ridgecrest. And a rather sordid chapter in North Carolina history at that time. We needed workers. So they got them out of prison and put them on a boxcar and shipped them 2 days in a boxcar with no amenities, no nothing except a hole cut in the floor of one corner of the boxcar so they could relieve themselves. And they got up to a place called Henry Station, which is past Old Fort, and that was the base camp. And it took, I believe, I'll put this in the notes, but 4 years for them to build 9 miles. Because when they arrived, they had no tools. So these incarcerated laborers literally would go down into Mill Creek or somewhere nearby and get flat rocks. And that's what they used to dig. And it was also the first instance of nitroglycerin being used in construction. And they would use the nitroglycerin to blast in the tunnels up through there, the southern tunnels. Speaking of which, the longest one is the Swannanoa Tunnel, and there was a cable sent to Governor Zebulon Vance. It's become quite famous. The president of the railroad was also the chief engineer, and he sent a cable to the governor that said daylight entered Buncombe County this morning through the Swannanoa Tunnel. It's become rather famous in North Carolina history. And not terribly long after that, the Chester and Lenoir Railroad made its way into Lenoir. And then there were several lines, of course, spread out from here, lumbering railroads that tapped into the timber resources. So a couple of other things that let's leapfrog here a little bit to into the 20th century. The railroads of the country were nationalized twice for war efforts, World War I, World War II. The U.S. Railway Association did that, but afterwards they were released back to the private companies that owned them. And so after World War II is when it begins to get really interesting here in the country. The state and federal authorities are investing huge sums of money in building highways and in building the interstate highway network, which was a defense project, and creating an air traffic control system in the country. So you had cars and trucks and planes that were taking a lot of business, both passenger and freight, away from the railroad companies. And at the time, they were heavily regulated. All of transportation was heavily regulated. And so when a railroad wanted a rate increase, they had to go to the Interstate Commerce Commission. Some of you probably remember the old ICC. And oftentimes they were adversarial. They did not get the rate increases or the amount they wanted. They would apply to discontinue money-losing passenger services. They did not get to do that for many years. And so what happened was a general downward spiral of the financial health and condition of the railroad industry in the country. One of the things that was seen as this, how did that happen?
I'm not sure, but we're working on it.
Okay. I just read away right here.
Just keep going.
So in 1968, there was a merger of the Pennsylvania Railroad and New York Central Railroad, creating Penn Central. That was the largest railroad in the U.S. at that point. 1 year later, it went bankrupt, and it became the largest bankruptcy in the history of the country at that time. And obviously, that began to catch government officials' names or government officials' attention when this high-profile railroad, went bankrupt. There was an effort to take passenger service away, just so the railroads would stop losing so much money. That's where Amtrak came into being in May of 1971. It was the National Railroad Passenger Corporation. It had a charge that it was to make money. They had to do that to put that in the charter for it, just to get it passed. That was rescinded about 8 years later. There's no way that you're gonna make money on passenger rail. There just isn't. It does not happen. Following year, Hurricane Agnes struck the Northeast, and it plunged 5 railroads into bankruptcy. And again, the spiral was just continuing on. And so in 1976, we had a railroad called Conrail that was formed. It took 7 bankrupt railroads, merged them into one. And they merged them into one, and it was government owned for a while.
You broke it, Dan.
Apparently, I'm good at that. Yeah, that was it.
You got it.
Thank you. So 1 in 4 railroad route miles was in bankruptcy at the point Conrail was created. I mean, we've got an industry that's just losing money hand over fist everywhere. Move on to 1980, the Rock Island Railroad completely shut down. About 8,000 miles of track in the Midwest and in the Mid-South. Completely shut down overnight. It was the largest event of its type in the history of the country. You're seeing a pattern here. We've got the largest bankruptcy, we've got the largest railroad shutting down, we've got all of these things. And so it finally got the attention of Congress. And they passed legislation called the Staggers Act, named for a congressman from West Virginia, Harley Staggers. And basically there was a realization that, okay, we either nationalize this industry and we treat it like a utility, or we turn it loose and let the market do what the market does. Weed out the weak, kind of Darwinian here, and the strong will get stronger and the weak will go away. And that's kind of what happened. President Carter signed that into law. There was a whole era of deregulation that was taking place here anyway, or partial deregulation. Airline industry in 1979, the old Civil Aeronautics Board went out of commission, and then you had the Federal Aviation Administration and other safety agencies. You had trucking industry was deregulated at that time. My dad was a trucker. We kind of have transportation in the DNA in this family. I'm trains and ports. My brother's a commercial helicopter pilot for one of the largest utilities in the state. I bet you can't guess who it is. And we were the sons of a truck driver. So, kind of fits. Let's see. So, what happened is just exactly what you would expect. There was consolidation in the industry. We are now down to 6 major rail systems in North America. 2 of those are Canadian headquartered, but have extensive operations in the U.S. Canadian National Railroad is the largest railroad in Mississippi, by the way, if you ever get a Jeopardy question about that. We have another tier called regional railroads. 22 of those around the country. They're just what it says, smaller railroads that serve a more limited geographic area. Here's where it gets really interesting. A Class 1 railroad is union labor. They have lots of costly overhead. And they operate lines that are marginally profitable, sometimes losing money. And so they're always trying to get rid of them in some way to streamline their operations, make money, make the shareholders happy. And so you will see them petition for abandonment oftentimes. That's exactly what happened with your rail line here. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with this Norfolk Southern petition to abandon the line. And the county stepped in and purchased it, and which was a very smart thing to do. Because once that right of way is gone, it's Humpty Dumpty. You can never put it back together again. Almost never happens. Because the property reverts to the heirs of whoever it was purchased from to begin with, or whoever it was granted through an easement process, or fee simple, or however it happened to be acquired. And so that's how you got the Caldwell County Railway. Now within the NCDOT Rail Division, and there's just kind of a lot of stuff here. I guess you'll make this available if people want to read through this. But there's different programs that the Rail Division does that support local industry, that support short line railroads. And these are things that are really important when you start thinking about economic development. So for instance, the short line industrial assistance program that NCDOT Rail Division has will pay to build a siding into your industry if you want to receive or ship goods by rail. They will help, if there's already a siding that exists, they will finance or offer grants to upgrade it. So a lot of resources that are available there through that division. And the Rail Division here at NCDOT is widely held up as the best, literally the best in the country. Other states look at ours and say, gosh, we wish we had one like that. State of South Carolina doesn't even have a rail division. So, what they do is very small. They do grade crossing upgrades. So, here's a couple of programs that some of these smaller items fit within the Freight, Rail, and Rail Crossing Safety Improvement Program. That goes by the acronym FRICSI. And you can see kind of some of the things that it does that are a part of this here. Things like I just mentioned, rail infrastructure, a lot of matching grants, one-to-one grants. And by the way, the Caldwell County Railway has received $480,000 for 6 different projects. And those are still available. Let's see, here's some more details on the different types of grant programs and strategic programs that they have through the Rail Division. And then I want to mention one other thing here. This is really interesting. I talked about the North Carolina Railroad earlier. It has always been majority, shares were sold, the state was the majority shareholder, but it didn't own all of them. And so in the late 80s, early 90s, the state was looking at merging the two railroads that I talked about earlier, the North Carolina Railroad and the Atlantic North Carolina, because Norfolk Southern operated them under lease. And Norfolk Southern made it clear they did not want the Atlantic and North Carolina Railroad. They just wanted the North Carolina Railroad. And so the presidents of the two companies got together and said, okay, we'll just merge these, and it's all or nothing, you have to take it. And that's exactly what happened. And it probably wouldn't have happened if it hadn't been, the two presidents were both appointed by Governor Martin, political allies of Martin's and of each other. And that's what opened the door to that. But during that period, the state went into the market and bought all outstanding shares. So it's an unusual circumstance. You have a private corporation. It is that. There was a Supreme Court ruling that determined that, made that, it would not be challenged. Private corporation whose sole shareholders in the state of North Carolina. And what we've seen with them, particularly in the last 3 or 4 years, is they have started spending dividend money that they used to give back to the state on economic development programs. And so this is something that has paid dividends over and over and over. And here's a couple of examples of the programs, and you can find all these on their website, the NCRR Invest. They have a program for build-ready sites, one for brownfields, wetlands mitigation. And then one thing that's not on here that I really appreciate them doing was Hurricane Helene. So, and the devastation that hit Western North Carolina. I'm from Spruce Pine. So I found out in a very difficult way what Helene could do to family members and to the area where I grew up, where my mother still lives. I mean, we found out my mom was okay. We didn't hear from her for 3 days. And my brother, the helicopter pilot, had been sent to Florida with Duke Energy, so he wasn't anywhere around. He called up a buddy of his who had a small helicopter, and my sister-in-law went and met him, and they flew up on Saturday once the flight restriction was lifted, just to find out if she was okay, and she was. So, North Carolina Railroad did a disaster relief fund, put $10 million in it, and they have been doing grants for rail, not just railroad lines, but for rail-oriented tweets. Got a grant to help them with some costs from the hurricane. So really beginning to get creative in what they're doing with the money that they're making. So that is kind of fast and furious, and I'm happy to take any questions if anybody has any, or I'll hang around afterwards and be glad to answer questions.
Any questions before we let him go? Eat. He didn't get to eat yet. Thank you, Dan.
You're welcome.
Now, I'll try not to break the slide here. Okay, so now we're to the award section of our program. While many of you are here today. So we'll begin today with the Class of 2024 award. The Class of award recognizes those businesses and industries that Caldwell County Economic Development has had a project with during the last calendar year. Those recognized and work with our department to continue their growth here in Caldwell County. This year, we want to recognize Mullins Company. You guys want to come on up and get a small token of appreciation, as well as pose for a picture. I'm going to read a little information here. So Mullins was founded in 1949 as an insulation and home improvement business. 10 years later, the business expanded into the acoustical ceiling business. Over the years, Mullins has evolved into a successful East Tennessee insulation and ceiling business that continues today. In January 2024, our office was approached by Mullins, who was looking to expand with their first North Carolina location. Since then, Mullins has found a new home in Granite Falls and has hired 16 employees. You may have even noticed their billboard in front of the fairgrounds there on 321. Please join me in officially welcoming Mullins to Caldwell County. We look forward to your continued growth and support.
our Vanna White, we're gonna take a nice picture. He makes a nice Vanna, doesn't he?
All right, so next we'll, move on to our anniversary awards, and I'll recognize EDAC member Janet Aiken to do the honor. Thank you, Ms. Janet.
Okay, at this time, we would At this time, we would like to recognize Caldwell County Industries, which celebrated a significant anniversary in 2024. As we call your name, please step forward to my left for your certificate and photo. We have 7 anniversary recognitions today. Please hold all applause until all 7 have been recognized. First is Stargens Greer, 120 years. Stargens Greer stands as a global leader in allergen immunotherapy, dedicated to improving the lives of individuals suffering from allergies. With a presence in the United States since 1904, the company has been at the forefront of developing and commercializing innovative treatments for allergic diseases and related conditions. The company's evolution took a significant step in 2015 with the merger of 2 established leaders in the field, Stargens, a French company founded in 1998, and Greer Laboratories, a long-standing institution in Caldwell County. The merger of Stargens and Greer Laboratories aimed to create a more powerful global leader. The new entity, Stargens Greer, created a formidable platform for advancing research, product development, and commercial operations on a global scale. This collaboration expanded their geographic reach and broadened their portfolio of treatments, positioning them to make a greater impact on the allergy treatment market worldwide. Celebrating 120 years of innovation, dedication, and service, Stargens Greer remains committed to its mission of providing cutting-edge allergy treatments and improving quality of life for individuals across the globe. Boone Lumber Company, 60 years. Boone Lumber, a family-owned and operated company, proudly celebrates 60 years of success and evolution in the lumber industry. What began in 1964 as John Green's involvement with his family's Green Chain Sawmill has grown into a respected leader in the field of lumber manufacturing, distribution, and processing. In 1983, the company further expanded its operations by purchasing land along the railway in Lenore, establishing a receiving yard for inbound rail cars to improve logistics and streamline operations. 4 years later, in 1987, Boone Lumber officially moved its manufacturing operations to Lenore, allowing for increased production capacity and the ability to serve a growing customer base. In 2022, under the direction of John Green's youngest son, Sid Green, Boone Lumber responded to rising customer demand for specialized profile materials by investing in a winding mold. This addition, combined with the expansion of material warehouses and the construction of a dehumidification dry kiln, enabled Boone Lumber to enhance its product offerings and better serve its clients' evolving needs. Boone Lumber's 60-year legacy is built on family values, craftsmanship, and a forward-thinking approach to the lumber business. As it looks toward the future, the company is well positioned for continued growth and success, serving both new and long-standing customers while staying true to its roots. Hayes Chemical Company LLC, 30 years, they cannot be here today. Since its incorporation in 1994, Hayes Chemical Company has been a trusted leader in the manufacturing and distribution of water, treatment, chemicals, and equipment. For 30 years, the company has provided innovative solutions for commercial, industrial, and institutional applications, helping businesses and organizations manage and improve their water treatment systems. Over the years, Hayes Chemical Company has built strong relationships with mechanical contractors and HVAC companies, collaborating on new construction projects to integrate effective water treatment solutions. The company's expertise extends beyond product sales. Hayes Chemical Company also offers consultation services, working closely with both new and existing customers to design, improve, and optimize water treatment systems. As Hayes Chemical Company celebrates its 30th anniversary, the company reflects on its long-standing commitment to customer satisfaction, innovation, and quality. With a focus on continuous improvement and a customer-centric approach, Hayes Chemical Company is well positioned to continue its success and growth in the years to come. West Cove Enterprises Material Handling, 30 years. West Cove, founded in 1994, is a trusted leader in providing comprehensive packaging solutions. As the company marks its 30th anniversary, Wesco continues to stand out for its unwavering commitment to exceptional customer service, high-quality products, and innovative solutions that meet the diverse needs of businesses across industries. Led by senior partner Jamie Haggerty, Wesco's team is comprised of seasoned professionals in engineering and design, sales, and customer service. With more than 50 years of combined experience in the packaging industry, they are well equipped to design, implement, and support tailored solutions that address even the most complex packaging challenges. As Wesco celebrates 30 years of success, the company remains committed to being the cornerstone of its customers' packaging needs for the 4 years to come. CaseWorks, 10 years. Founded in 1994, CaseWorks has become a recognized leader in the custom cabinetry of the individual millwork industry. Over the past 10 years, CaseWorks has built a reputation for delivering handcrafted luxury cabinetry designed for specific installations, all backed by innovative technology and a state-of-the-art 20,000 square foot manufacturing facility. CaseWorks was established with a clear mission to improve the delivery process for architectural millwork and ensure projects are completed on schedule. The company's success is rooted in its commitment to continuously refining its processes, eliminating potential obstacles before they even reach the production floor. This proactive approach, combined with the talent of its dedicated team, has helped CaseWorks become a leading provider of architectural millwork nationwide. Fuel Tech Systems, 10 years, and they could not attend today. Established in 2014, Fuel Tech Systems has made a significant impact in Caldwell County, North Carolina, and beyond, as a leader in the design and manufacturing of high-quality commercial fuel filtration and tank cleaning systems. Fuel Tech's journeys began much earlier, with the company receiving its first U.S. patent for fuel purification technology in 2001. Since then, the company has grown into a global leader in fuel cleaning equipment with systems in use around the world. Despite its international reach, all Fuel Tech systems are proudly designed, engineered, and 100% manufactured in the United States, ensuring the highest standards of quality and craftsmanship. As Fuel Tech celebrates 10 successful years of doing business in Caldwell County, it looks forward to continuing to serve industries worldwide with advanced fuel filtration systems, strengthening its reputation as a global leader in fuel purification technology. Tajan Automotive Technologies, 10 years. Since establishing a strong presence in Caldwell County in 2014, Tajan Automotive Technologies has become a key player in the region's manufacturing landscape. Tajan Automotive Technologies specializes in the production of advanced composite materials that are at the forefront of automotive innovation. The company's dedication to creating lightweight, high-performance materials has been instrumental in helping the automotive industry meet the growing demand for sustainable, fuel-efficient vehicles. The Caldwell County facility, formerly known as Continental Structural Plastics, became an integral part of Tajan Automotive Technologies' global operations when it was acquired and rebranded in 2014. Since then, the plant has played a vital role in advancing the company's mission to develop and manufacture state-of-the-art composite materials such as carbon fiber reinforced plastics. Please join me in giving a round of applause for all this celebrating. I now recognize Dr. Mark Porch, who is in our Partner of the Year Award.
Okay, good afternoon again. I'm honored to be able to present the Partner of the Year Award, which celebrates and recognizes the outstanding contributions of individuals and organizations who have demonstrated unwavering dedication, innovation, and collaboration in fostering economic growth and prosperity in Caldwell County. Today, we shine a spotlight on Blue Ridge Energy and Duke Energy. These two companies epitomize economic and workforce development, collaboration, and partnership. For decades, Blue Ridge Energy and Duke Energy have been pillars of strength and reliability in the region, not only as energy providers, but as dedicated partners in fostering economic and workforce development. Their shared commitment to enhancing the prosperity of Caldwell County and beyond has been a driving force behind many successful initiatives that have shaped this community for the better. Their partnership with CCC&TI has been nothing short of remarkable and transformational. With their help, the college launched the electrical line worker program in 2011, and I'm proud to say that today we've had over 700 graduates in that program. Then in 2021, we completed the indoor pole yard. Today, the Energy Institute at CCC&TI now includes what is arguably North Carolina's most comprehensive set of programs in the energy sector, and includes line worker, substation, transmission, and distribution. None of this would have been possible without both companies supporting the college through funding, guidance and expertise, curriculum and facility design, faculty training, and so much more. However, it was during the region's darkest hours that the true depth and magnitude of their partnership was revealed. When Western North Carolina was struck by its most catastrophic natural disaster in history, both Blue Ridge Energy and Duke Energy immediately sprang into action. The teams from these two organizations worked side by side, day and night, demonstrating extraordinary resilience and tireless work ethic in the face of danger and adversity. Their efforts were nothing short of heroic as they mobilized resources, provided critical support, and worked around the clock to restore power, ensure safety, and help rebuild the community. In talking with Doug just a few days ago, he was telling me this story where he was trying to get linemen to take a day off. And Alan, he said that the linemen told him that they would take a day off when all of their members had their power restored. And Robin and Bill, I'm sure there's so many stories with Duke Energy that are similar to that. That's the kind of people we have working at these two companies. The unwavering dedication of Blue Ridge Energy and Duke Energy not only helped get the lights back on and restore the vital infrastructure our community depends on, but also demonstrated how these two organizations work together to serve the citizens of our community. Their service and commitment to all of us and to Western North Carolina certainly deserves to be recognized and celebrated, not just for their efforts during the disaster, but for the ongoing legacy they continue to build in strengthening our community. Please join me in congratulating Blue Ridge Energy and Duke Energy on being recognized as the Caldwell County Economic Development 2024 Partners of the Year. Congratulations.
Oh, let's get on here. Let's get on here. It'll look better. It'll look better. It'll look good. Thank you, Dr. Ford.
She said she got a little better, so she's thinking of that one.
I was just thinking that one. Okay. We'll let them get a photo. Is somebody gonna say something? No, no. Thank you for what you did here in the lane and what you always do for our community. Two remarkable companies. I'm now going to recognize John Greer, the town manager of Hudson, to present the next award. John.
The Industry of the Year Award highlights a business that has distinguished itself through innovative practices, market leadership, sustainability efforts, and contributions to economic development. It serves as a testament to the dedication, ingenuity, and resilience of the individuals and organizations driving progress within that industry. This year's award, I'm proud to present, goes to Harmony Timber Works in Hudson. Since 1979, Harmony Timber Works has been supplying finely crafted timber frame systems and structures. As an industry pioneer and innovator, the company has evolved from a small specialty materials supplier to one of the leading custom timber framers in the industry. With over 40 years of experience, Harmony Timber Works proudly builds both commercial and residential timber frame structures for a diverse client base, including Universal Studios here at home. 2021, Harmony Timber Works began expanding in Caldwell County, primarily Hudson, opening a state-of-the-art 44,000 square foot facility in a former manufacturing facility that some thought possibly should have been torn down. They bought it, saw the vision, brought life back into it, and it's a great success story for all of us. They've become a steadfast partner to Caldwell County since opening that facility. We called upon for impromptu tours or collaboration. Wayne and his team are always enthusiastic, ready to help, ready to support. From North Carolina Department of Commerce to various economic development programs, they're always consistently demonstrating their commitment to being a community partner. Last year, we celebrated them as one of our 2023 inductees. And this year, Tommy, Wayne, Jay, I'm honored to recognize you guys as industry leaders. So, come on up, and if you guys would help me congratulate.
Feel free to say anything if you want.
Everybody wants to hear the accent, it's not just.
I'm not gonna say too much, but, since we moved down here to Caldwell County, just the people of Caldwell County have made this whole transition, seamless for us. You know, we had a vision that we wanted to grow and expand our business, and with great ownership, you know, we found a place down here that we were able to now call home. You know, for over 35 years, we've been up in Boone, North Carolina, so we're able to move down here, and be able to grow our business. We've even been able to, I'm glad Ashley touched on it, we've been able to hire great people too. We've been able to bring in the people of Lenore and surrounding areas and bring them into our business and make them part of our family. So our continued growth is in large part to Ashley, Jesse, and the people of Caldwell County. With good people, good things happen. So thank you, everybody.
The picture will look better down here. Just say.
Rick Coffey to come up to present this year's determination.
Good afternoon. Hope everybody's doing great. Mr. Herman Anderson of Lenore spent 23 years with Blue Ridge Energy, where he served as director of the company's development and recruitment. His efforts in bringing various industries into Caldwell County and surrounding counties certainly had a positive impact on the economy of Caldwell County and beyond. The Herman Anderson Award was established in 1997 to honor and recognize other individuals who exhibit outstanding engagement in economic development. Recipients must have demonstrated sincere efforts to benefit Caldwell County through either their profession or volunteer efforts. This year's recipient of the Herman Anderson Award is a good friend of mine, Mr. Bob McCrary. Bob was born in Whitnall, community of Caldwell County, the son of Coy Lee and Christine McCrary. A graduate of Hudson High School, Bob attended Wake Forest University on a football scholarship. He was drafted in the 5th round, 54th pick overall by the San Francisco 49ers in the 1961 season. Bob graduated from Wake Forest in the spring of '63. He joined Bernhardt Furniture as a trainee in February of '65 and represented Bernhardt in Washington, D.C., Baltimore, and Philadelphia for 15 years. And then in the Chicago metropolitan area for 2 years. He was served as CEO of President Furniture from 1983 to 1985. Bob and Michelle founded McCrary Modern, in January of 1986. Over the past 35 years, McCrary Modern has grown into one of the largest privately owned and ESOP-owned furniture companies in the United States, employing over 900 people in 7 manufacturing facilities in Caldwell and Watauga County. Their commitment to locally sourced components for their products has supported and contributed to the success of numerous companies and other North Carolina businesses. Bob and his late wife, Michelle, have been generous supporters of Caldwell County for many years, helping to make it a wonderful place to work and live. It's my personal honor and privilege, and I would ask you to join me in celebrating Mr. Bob McCrary as the 2024 recipient of the Herman Anderson Award.
All right. Oh my God. That's a picture of me and Michelle. You know, the reason I can stand up here today and accept this award, I owe so much of it to Michelle. I lost her 7.5 months ago. And it just makes an award like this bittersweet. And that she's not here. But our relationship over 40 years, she was my true love. She was my business partner. But most of all, she was my best friend. That's tough. So, it's, I really owe so much to her to be able to again stand here. And I'm truly a homegrown product. I grew up about 5 miles from here back in the holler. Anyone knows about Overlook Drive between Whitnall and, we used to call it Del Rio, I don't know what they call it now. Back in the holler, that's where I grew up. 4 rooms, 4 boys. My sweet mother had 4 boys in 6 years. When she started with me, when she was 19. And I think I was a real test for 12 plus pounds. So that was a real test. Then she went on and had 3 more. But I owe a lot to people through the course of my life that have gotten me where I am. And I'll start with my mother and my dad. My mother and my dad. My dad was not an educated man. He had to go to work in the Franklin factory when he was 14. Because his father passed away, being the oldest child, he had to take care of the family. But he was smart in many other ways. My mother was probably the most amazing lady that I've ever known. And, you know, I had the pleasure of, we had her on earth for 103 and a half. She passed away 2 years ago. She was my rock. And so it's, you know, that's where I started. And you don't reach the level that I have fortunately been able to reach without people like that. Growing up in a home, we didn't
boy, you get an education so that you don't have to do what I'm doing. And if you do good, as he says, don't forget where you come from. So I think I've done good, and I have not forgotten where I came from. I think that's evident in Caldwell County now, with the Cancer Center, Surgery Center, the Hudson Rec Center. I don't forget where I came from. It's a pleasure to give back to a community that has meant so much to you over and over the years. And this is my home. It always will be my home. And I will continue giving you support. Right, Ann?
Right.
Thank you for the great honor, and it's I'm grateful, very grateful. Thank you so much. Okay.
Rick, do y'all wanna come? Do y'all come get a picture?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the whole team.
Hey, I'm not through yet. I got off a rough start, but we have wonderful people, and we've got 900 full-time now, and 150 temps, so we got a lot going on. But these are some of my key people here. Rick Coffey is the best manufacturing guy in the business. 25 years, he has gotten us where we are. Without him, I'm a merchant. I can't do stuff like he does. But thanks to Rick, we're probably the most efficient furniture operation, I think, one of the most efficient in the country. I was also asked a question many times, what's going to happen after you? So, well, it'll all work out. It started working out 13 years ago, when my son Robert, my oldest son Robert, left New York after 24 years in the financial world and joined this company. And he and I have both made the pledge that this company will remain private and employee owned. So going forward, so that's, people are pleased with that. Then also Director of Manufacturing, Joel DeHart, Director of HR, Tina Carpenter, and our CFO, come on, Chris Carswell. But these are key people here, but we have 900 others that are very, very special, and we make them feel special. Don't we, Rick?
Absolutely.
Robert? We do, and thanks to Tina and others that we treat our people with respect, and you know, we're one of them. So I meant to say that earlier. I got a little off course with the photograph you guys put up here.
move to our last award of the day. It's our Legacy Award. And this award is not given annually, but only when an organization or person has established themselves as a true legacy. And Caldwell County Economic Development has only awarded legacy 3 times before. To Bernhardt Furniture, to Alvin Dahlfridge, and to Lenore Mira. So it's with great pride that we recognize Ann Smith today with the Legacy Award for her dedication to empowering aspiring entrepreneurs and making our community a better place to live and to work. To be recognized with Legacy Award, Ann has certainly made impacts in many ways. So just to share some of those, she's the founder and life coach behind her company Believe. Through Believe, Ann has spent many hours guiding individuals who are looking to start their own businesses. Through her coaching, she helps them uncover their true potential and connects them to multiple resources and people available to set aspiring entrepreneurs on the path to success. Her company's name, Believe, may offer a one-word description of Ann's character and her contributions to our community. Her contributions extend beyond her business. Many of us had the opportunity to work with Ann through various community organizations. Some highlights of her community work include her service on the Caldwell County Economic Development Advisory Committee, as well as its predecessor, the Economic Development Commission, for 32 years. Her leadership has played a vital role in driving initiatives in the local economic development. She served as the chair for 13 years on this board, and she remains an active member today. Ann was appointed to the Caldwell Community College Technical Institute Board of Trustees in 2023, where she served 22 years to education in Caldwell County. She was part of the executive committee for much of that tenure, where she served as treasurer for 11 years and secretary treasurer for 3 years. So currently she serves as the chair of finance for that group. Ann's service to the town of Hudson is also noteworthy. Starting in 1997, Ann served 2 different tenures as the town of Hudson commissioner, totaling 19 plus years of service in county. During her time, she served on various committees and was instrumental in the creation and development of Hub Station, which has become a wonderful community asset and impacts individual lives and the entire community. Her contributions to the town of Hudson are notable, and she continues to be a dedicated leader there. Some other organizations of service include Camp Enterprise, which has a focus on skill development and encouragement for high school students interested in entrepreneurship. Caldwell Memorial Hospital Foundation, with a focus on community health. The Mitford Museum, which has a focus on literacy, creativity, and fostering respect for the dignity of all people. See a theme here? Personally, I'm blessed to have been able to work alongside Ann for approximately 20 years during her career at First Citizens Bank. I've learned a lot from Ann, and I continue to learn a lot from her. During her banking career, I had the opportunity to observe Ann regularly working with business owners, individuals, community organizations, and fellow associates. She consistently demonstrated some traits that I'd like to share. Ann cares. She cares about individuals and organizations. She's curious. She wants to understand the goals and dreams of others and then find ways that she can help that individual organization achieve those. She has vision and has a way of seeing potential in people, potential in community, and even potential in an old building. Ann collaborates and connects people to others. It served her and others well. Ann has the heart of a servant leader. She really enjoys seeing individuals and organizations achieve goals that not only benefit the individual, but the entire community. Ann's commitment to helping others, leadership in the community, and her unwavering belief in the power of small businesses, just a few of the many reasons we're proud to celebrate her today. Her work has touched the lives of countless individuals. We're lucky to have her as a guiding force in our community. So join me in applauding Ann Smith for unwavering dedication, service, and leadership as we present her with the well-deserved award.
I'm still in shock because I had no idea that this was gonna happen until I saw my husband walk in and I said to him, "What are you doing?" So EDC, you're still really good at keeping secrets. It's such an honor to receive this award, and I don't have to look very far out into this room to see people that deserve it so much more than I do. But I truly do appreciate the honor. Bob, I grew up in Whittle too. My grandparents raised me. I was born to an unwed mother, and they worked in the cotton mill industry for years. In fact, my grandfather worked in the cotton mill until I graduated from high school to help support me and get me through school. And I am grateful for everything that they have done for me, and grateful to God for being with me through every aspect of my career and life and everything that I have done. I told my husband, after I apologized to him after I said, "What are you doing?" Because he gave me quite a scare a few months ago, so I'm really glad that he could be here today. I'm just so grateful for all of you. Mark, we had a wonderful banking career. It's been such a pleasure to work with the EDC, and I'm just so grateful for everything that Caldwell County has offered entrepreneurs, and I look forward to continuing to be of service in some way. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming. It's been a good day to recognize a lot of good work, a lot of folks. And we appreciate everyone's continuing contributions to economic development in the county. And I appreciate you dedicating 2 hours of your day here. So congratulations, thank you, have a good day.